Hi guys, so it's VI Life with Kelly. Always like, share, comment, subscribe. We're on our way to 500 subscribers and our cash giveaway. I'm super excited about it. I really want to get it done this month. So let's do everything to keep me populating in the algorithm, and so we can do our first giveaway in my birthday month. And this video is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to be giving you guys an update to my law school journey. I'm also going to be sharing with you all some things to do when preparing for law school. So if you are interested in all things law school, then keep watching. Okay guys, so you know that I had been previously telling you all I was not going to take the LSAT test, that after I took the prep exam, I was exhausted, turned off, and I ended up finding schools that will take the GRE scores. So as time has gone on, and the more that I think about my entire lifestyle, needs, wants, desires, and I keep factoring in, what if I get stuck in the city where I go to law school? Where would I want to do that? If this is my last big move, where would I want that to be? And so I thought about family, I thought about friends, I thought about comforts, everyday necessities, just life in general. And so as I kept doing that, schools that I was interested in have not opened themselves up to accepting the GRE scores. So it was narrowing my school choice. And if you guys know me, then you know I love to have options. So I kept saying, I'm not taking this LSAT, I'm not taking this LSAT. For you all who don't know what the LSAT is, it's the law school admissions test. So anyhow, I have been looking at it, watching videos about it, right? I had been exploring, all the possibilities. So let's just get this conversation out the way. For those of you all who have not thought about starting school anytime soon, but you'd be open to starting school in January, great news. The spring and fall 2023 applications are now open. You should definitely watch my videos I've done previously on law school, talking about how to set up and register your LSAC account, which is the Law School Admissions Council. You need to go to lsac.org and get that party started, because that is the only way that you will be applying to law school. So there as well, you would be able to register for the exam. The exam costs $215. There is a fee waiver that you can apply for within your student account. It is very easy. You're going to click on the link. It's going to be right at the bottom. It's going to say fee waiver. All you're going to do is click on that link. You're going to enter in some information. You will need your 2021 tax return to answer these questions. And if you fall below the income threshold, then they will give you the fee waiver. Now, when you initially submit, if it denies you, you can immediately click in the link below, the denial for an appeal, and they will give you a conditional approval. As soon as you click that link, it will ask you to upload your tax return. You can also send an email to lsacfeewaiver@lsac.org and further explain. You can call the LSAC candidate assistance line, and they will go over the application with you. I went through this process because, come to find out, I had entered some items incorrectly as far as income on my application. When you apply for an appeal, they give you a conditional approval, and they give you a deadline to get those tax documents uploaded to them. As long as you do that before the deadline, then you will get the fee waiver. Now, the good news about the conditional approval is that you can go forward with registering for the class. So right now, the registration deadline is September 29th for the November test. Okay. The other great thing about getting that fee waiver is that there are several schools that, if you have an LSAC fee waiver on your account, automatically waives your fees for application to the individual schools. Okay, now after you complete this process, you will need to um, upload a photo, and it needs to be a different photo. So basically, you would need to take a picture of yourself and upload it. It needs to be a different picture other than your government ID. And you need to not have anything on your face, glasses, nothing. And it needs to be a clear picture of just your head and shoulders. That is all. You will also need to complete an acknowledgement, which is right under the link to upload your photo. And that is about 40 lines of information of the do's and don'ts and all the questions that you never had. All the answers will be there. And you need to do that, or you will not be able to schedule a time for your exam. And so you have to read, when they send you that registration confirmation email, you need to read it because there's several steps in there that you need to complete in order to take the exam. I believe like up to 2 days before the exam, you can schedule a time with ProctorU to take that, to get your exact time for your exam. You are going to take it from your own computer, and it has a long list of the things that you need to be in an area that's quiet, no windows. You can't have your phone anywhere near you. There should be no one entering the room. If they do, you need to tell them to leave right away. You have to keep your eyes on the screen. It's a lot of different rules. There's 4 parts to the exam. You just have to read it. You have to acknowledge that you've read everything, and you have to agree. And then once you've done that, you just need to wait. Now, there's 4 components to the exam, and then there is a writing sample. The writing sample is made available 8 days prior to the exam. If you do not have a writing sample, you will not be able to get your scores released once you complete your exam. So, for example, the November exam is being administered November 11th and 12th. After November 11th and 12th, they're expecting to have our scores available by November 30th. Now, if you do not have a writing sample, your scores will not be released. Another component you need to be made aware of is that 6 days after your scores are released, you can actually cancel your scores. So if you do not have a score that you want, for example, the lowest score is 120 and the highest score is 180. So most schools that I've looked at have been accepting 149 and up. So if you got a 120 or 130, you probably want to cancel your score, because after the 6th day, it's a permanent part of your record. So every school that looks at your application will see that score plus the next score that you got, right? So that's some things that you should know when scheduling your exam. So that will give you plenty of time to get those scores in and be able to start school in January. Most law schools are starting school between the 9th and the 17th in January. I will also like to tell you guys the difference between starting law school in August and January. The biggest difference is that you miss out on orientation at most schools, and there are not that many schools that have a January start date, okay? So, in August, you missed the first week of orientation. When you're starting in January. So August, you get a 1 week orientation, and then the next week is when you start your classes. Whereas in January, you just jump right in. The first week is the first week, and you just go from there. Now, the second thing that's different about starting in the spring versus the fall is that you are starting classes with your 1L class. That is their second semester. Those who started in August, you're jumping right in with their second semester class schedule, and that's your first class schedule. And so, then in the fall, you will start with that first year class. You'll start your um, second semester, which would really be your first semester of classes. So you will still graduate in the same calendar year, but you'll end up graduating in December instead of May. You can graduate in May still if you add like one class a semester to your schedule, then you could still graduate in May or even in the summer. I did find out as well, most law schools require 50 pro bono hours, which means you're working for free. And if you work 100 pro bono hours or more, then you earn a certificate, which is pretty big deal, and it's pretty easy to work over 100 hours in 3 years, pro bono hours. So get the certificate, it's worth it. Why not? You're halfway there, you know. Okay, guys, a couple of channels I've been watching. If you attend South Texas College of Law, and if you don't, and you're looking at starting school in January or next year in August, or you're just thinking about it, follow Josh Blackman here on YouTube. He is a professor at South Texas College of Law. He actually uploads all his lectures. I actually attended one of his classes. It was so refreshing and so enlightening. It took a lot of anxiety off of me because I had watched other YouTubers' channels talk about their first semester of classes and just things they experienced over the time. But his breakdown um, really was helpful because he really explained how it is that you end up reading, 150 to 200 pages a week. And it's because each class required readings is about 25 to 30 pages each. So collectively, with all your classes, you're doing 150 to 200 pages. But then when he broke down how these case studies are not going to be in everyday language or current modern language, it's going to be in Old English. There's going to be Latin references. There are going to be phrases, colloquialisms, all kinds of things that we're not, privy to. We don't know. You're looking at cases from the 1800s. So it's like you spend a lot of time, grammar, vocabulary, looking up things. So I used to always wonder, like, wow, people would say, I'm going to law school, I'm an English major in undergrad. They would tell me these majors that I would think, like, oh, you just want an easy A. Like, why are you not a poli-sci, major, political science major? And no, they did the right thing. You need to have um, a good knowledge base on English, on philosophers, on poetry, alliteration, metaphorical context. Like, you need to have a good base on that. You need to be familiar with reference books that help you get to the roots of words, synonyms, antonyms, just all different versions of dictionaries, even, you know what I'm saying? The sources, all of those types of books that are going to give you the context, because the wrong concept will throw everything off, right? The difference between an A and an F. So that was really good. I really loved how the teacher broke down how pretty much, your grade boils down to your final exam. And he talked about how important it is for you to prep for the midterm, even though the midterm is not weighted, because what you do on your midterm is pretty much what you're going to do on the final exam. That was really good. It was just so many things about it. I loved just participating and seeing how he was picking apart a case and a questions, going in depth, about, different ways to ask the same question to get you to thinking and to connecting the dots and to getting around to seeing different aspects of a case. So definitely check his channel out, subscribe to him if you're in school already. I'm always looking for points of reference or supplemental study because it's very helpful. He talked about, how to piss off a law teacher, which is to be late and to not be prepared, and they always know when you're not be using your phones, and they don't like for you to be typing every word they say because that means you're not paying attention. So some teachers ban computers and laptops from their classroom altogether, and phones and everything, so you have to use pen and paper. And they also talked about the importance of not purchasing these summaries of case studies and using other people's notes, these commercial case study workovers, and don't bring them to class ever, because they always can tell when you have them. That'll probably get you kicked out of their class. And a lot of times, whatever those summaries or notes say have nothing to do with what they're talking about. And so they'll know as soon as you start talking like that. They'll ask, like, where did you get that information from? Because it's obvious you didn't do the readings. So, guys, I really liked it. It just was so helpful to get a good grasp of what, I'm embarking in. I definitely think it's a great resource for you if you're interested. Another channel I really like is the Aspiring Boss. She happened to go to South Texas College of Law, and I like Demario on Demand. I don't remember what school he goes to, but I like his channel. He talks about his daily routine in law school, his perspective, and all that. I love the Aspiring Boss channel because she's thoroughly finished school. She gives you perspectives, throughout the process. She gives you her perspectives of after. Now she's 6 years into the game of law. She talks to you about the different, challenges and the positive things, the things she wished she would have done, the things she wished she would have known. She talks to you about her study habits, just all these different things that you want to know. She's covered it. And I really enjoy her channel. So there's another young lady that I watch that goes to Howard University, and I can't think of her. It's something like Shores, because she's from California like me. She did her undergrad at UCLA, and she's at Howard, and I enjoy her channel too. If I find her channel or remember, I'll put in the comments. Sorry about that, but um I am going to reveal to you guys very soon where I am going to school. I'm definitely going to do the same thing. I'm going to share with you guys my experiences. If you have any questions, definitely leave them in the comments and I'll make a video about it, because it's so much information to give in one video. But I did want to share with you guys the process of taking and registering for the law school admissions test, and how much details The attention to detail through this process is unreal. I do also want to tell you guys that for those of you all who are thinking like, I'm gonna take this test and I'm mentally prepared to take it again, you can only take the exam 3 times a year. You can take it 5 times in 5 years and 7 times in a lifetime. So if you take it 3 times this year, you have 4 more times to take it. So, think about that. I don't know who wants to take this test 7 times. I will tell you that it's not recommended to take it more than 2 and definitely not more than 3 times, because you're pretty much going to get the same score. Now, if you don't believe me, go ahead on and type in YouTube law or LSAT scores. You'll find a bunch of people's channels, people that got into Harvard, people that got, like, it's a lot of students on here, Texas Southern University students, and they will tell you, oh, I took it twice, I got the same score, I got a couple points difference. Some people will say they got a lower score, like they'll tell you time after time after time after time. It's just not worth doing it, after 3 times. I don't encourage taking it more than twice because it's depressing. It's a very hard test as far as, and it may not be. It depends on your personality, who you are. I don't like standardized tests, so there you have it, right? But I'm gonna get it out the way. So it's just a matter of, do you like your vegetables or do you just want the benefit of eating your vegetables? You know what I'm saying? So that's that on that. I also want to tell you guys too, don't be intimidated about the cost of getting into law school as far as paying the $500 seat. Every single school that is on that LSAC approved list offers a fee waiver. Call the admissions office directly, ask them for a fee waiver, and they will email it to you. Every school I've asked, and I've talked to a lot of law schools, from University of San Diego to Pepperdine and Malibu to University of Florida. I mean, Howard University. I've talked to everybody, Georgia State. I mean, Mercer University, University of Houston. I've talked to so many different schools. I could just list them all day. I have fee waivers for days in my inbox. And once you sign up for LSAC and you attend at least one of those forums, all these schools will start emailing you all the time. And they'll email you fee waivers. They'll email you incentives to apply by certain dates. I mean, you will get them. South Texas College of Law right now, they have it where if you apply and get all your things in by September 23rd, they will cancel all your fees. That's also their priority application deadline. So that means that, you'll get an early response and you'll get looked at for the most scholarship money possible, because it runs out, guys. So the later you apply, you get what you get. You know what I'm saying? So just like with St. Thomas University, their early priority application deadline is October 1st, right? So, and they give you a fee waiver as well. They're right there in Miami Gardens, Florida. So you have a lot of options still. When I tell you the best of the best law schools are accepting GRE, I mean, Yale, Stanford, Harvard, Penn State, everybody is on this list accepting GRE scores. And it's, University of Texas in Austin, they're accepting them. UGA, University of Georgia, is accepting GRE scores if you want to go to law school. Now, a lot of people are not still, but it can happen. University of Miami is accepting GRE scores. FIU, Florida International University, is accepting. St. Thomas no, that's a lie. Not St. Thomas. But, you know, plenty of schools are accepting. University of Houston is accepting GRE scores. So is South Texas College of Law. It's accepting GRE scores. So if you are dead set on you don't want to take another test, you have some viable GRE scores as long as it's within the last 5 years, which would be 2017 to now, and you would have had to have taken them, you know, later than today. So if you're applying right now and think, you know, applications would take like 2 weeks because you got to get those transcripts and those letters of recommendation, all this different stuff in there. So by the time they say receive completed document, your GRE scores need to have been taken, you know, later than that. So I would say to be safe, if you were doing an application right now, it needs to be like October of 2017 and you'd be okay, you know. So, and then sooner, you know, 2018, 2019, all of those years, you can, if you took them in those years, you're good. So, anyway, guys, that is what's going on. Yeah. You know, we're just living life, you guys. We're living life and staying positive, focusing on our purpose and plan for our lives, you know, and just stay focused on that. Don't think about anything else. Um, Trust God's promises and believe for that. Think on that. Expect it, anticipate it, and keep going. Keep going, guys. All right, I hope you enjoyed my video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Hugs and kisses. Oh man, I'm always dipping it back.